have any major regrets? We understand your mother passed away of cancer in her 50s, and you went to her funeral in cuffs. Um,
Yeah,
your son,
sorry.
one of your son who's now, studied commerce at uni, and you don't really have a
Um,
relationship with him, you don't chat with him. So can you maybe talk us through some of those potential regrets you may have with some of the crimes you've committed and the time you've served in prison, and what it taught you about yourself?
I think one thing that's important, and mind you, I regret hurting anybody in any situation. Let me make that clear to every single person. I regret that somebody was affected by my actions, not only in crimes, in relationships, in how I conducted myself. But I have to say this, and it's like people get an understanding around this because this is how deep of an understanding I have of myself. I can't act from a space I don't understand. And I don't mean to justify my crimes, but as a 12-year-old kid, I just wanted food, shelter, safety, security. And I went on the streets of Sydney and I went, well, how do I get that? And I climb into this canteen, there's boxes of chips there, and I open up the chips and I get a packet of chips. I didn't even think I was stealing. So I don't mean that justifies it, but what it means is when I look back on things, and a lot of this is for everybody, when you're not equipped with the behaviors that will help you make a better choice, I am regretful to hurting people, taking money, damaging people's emotions, etc., etc. But at the same time, you got to look back and say, I just wasn't equipped to make a choice that was the right one at that time. And so you get $1 million and you spend it, you buy that Lamborghini and buy a house back then, and you got no money left, and now you're borrowing money for the fuel. Like I said, it's because you didn't have the right advice to invest that money. So if Mark Bruce was there and you gave him the million, he'd invest it totally different to what I would because $1 million, I'm going to buy that Lamborghini and look good. Shit, I can't even afford the petrol next week. It's stupid, right? So it's hard to beat up on a kid or person that was uneducated in a space. And people go, oh, yeah, but you should have known better. Well, I didn't because I didn't have anybody to tell me the difference. And when you're a 12-year-old kid, your thoughts are, I just need to get food. And when I swear I sat in that canteen, not once did I ever think we're doing something illegal. I'm just thinking, how good's the food? I'm glad I got food in my stomach. And when we understand that conversation, it will never justify what I did or what someone does, but it does get us to go, I understand why they're making a choice around an uneducated choice that they think is the right choice for them at that point in time. Sorry, a fly just landed on me. An uneducated choice, you just can't make a better choice when you're uneducated about that space that you're in, period. And whether it's in a sporting sense, whether it's in a relationship sense, whether it's, you get around boys that aren't men and they don't know what respect is, values, morals, and then we get them into a relationship based on an attraction. What do you reckon they're going to do when they see another girl that they're attracted to? They don't manage their emotions and they don't have the emotional IQ to make a right choice. They're going to go and cheat. And I'm not saying that I justify that. I'm just saying we're expecting you buy a Datsun and you go, why isn't it going like a Ferrari? You're dreaming. You're dreaming. You've got to understand what you're dealing with. And same thing in business, Mark Boris would back this up. You're trying to invest in someone who has no framework towards a business, you're going to lose your money. It's a stupid investment. And the same principle around anybody in that life. And it doesn't, once again, I'm not justifying my actions. I do regret hurting people and traumatizing those in any way, shape, or form, not only in crime, but in relationships and in life. But I also have to look back and say that kid just didn't have that understanding. And if I could go back, I'd give that kid a hug and say, you did like you got to think about what I actually did. I actually did a lot of entrepreneurial stuff as a young kid on the streets, and I did my best with the skill set I had, and that's all I can. It's a real hard conversation.